Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. It'll be fun.
Good morning, everybody. It is the 23rd. And I feel like crap. Also, my camera keeps going weirdo. Wacko, like, what the heck? Let's come back up here to the top chart. It like froze. Like, this is the second time today it's done that, actually. There we go. How you doing? Okay. Now you can see me. I look terrible. Look at how wide my nose is. Yeah, so I had surgery on my deviated septum. And I guess it went well, but I've got like this, I don't know, like a stitch coming out that's got all sorts of blood attached to it over on this side. I'm a little concerned about it, but I think that I'm going to make it to the appointment where they're supposed to take the stitch out. I think this is why I sound kind of weird. Like if I sniff, you could hear this knot going all the way through the stitch. Apparently they're really big. So I'm not on any drugs anymore. They gave me like an opioid, and I took that for the first day and then ran out. And I'm not a particular fan of that stuff anyways. It made me feel really weird. But I do feel kind of loopy still this morning, especially. I don't know what the deal is. So we'll see how it goes. Stickball, how's it going, man? No reason to worry about me though. I mean, I think we're doing okay. I don't know. It'll be a little harder for me to talk a lot today, I think. You can't. The thing that's really frustrating is that you need like your nose and your mouth so that the air equalizes, you know? So, yeah, that kind of makes it hard to talk on stuff. But let's go through what I'm seeing here in the markets. Kind of got an interesting setup here. Opioids can definitely make one feel weird. Blessings from, yeah. Although I haven't, like last opioid I took was yesterday at 4 a.m. So pretty sure that's all out of my system now. I took Tylenol yesterday, but I haven't taken it lately. And I'm feeling okay. I don't feel pain, at least. Okay, so on Friday, we started to see a pretty good decline going into the close. And then over the weekend, they recovered. They recovered that. The big headline that I'm seeing being blamed for this move up over the weekend is that the AstraZeneca vaccine is proven to be successful. This is significant because the other vaccines have to be stored in like super cold conditions. Like it has to be like well below freezing. Whereas their vaccine can be distributed at a refrigerated temperature. So it's a lot more practical for distribution. Makes sense? There's also the Regeneron product that they use to cure Donald Trump of coronavirus has received its emergency approval. So that's really good. Both good things, but you see it only kind of washes out this move down. Let's see how the other markets reacted to it, though. Okay, Treasuries taking a pretty good clip down and lower than Friday, but still kind of close to the area that we were for most of the week. We have some auctions today. They're being all moved up because of the Thanksgiving holiday. Oil pushing higher. That's looking pretty good there now. It looks like a pretty good trend forming there in oil. You think they're going to break out? Gold continues to struggle within its rage, but man, gold has just been a wild ride, hasn't it? Copper had a pretty good run last Friday and is just kind of trailing off, so they're kind of in an okay spot. And the dollar just getting slammed again, and now it's sitting at 92. Ouch. Is that the lowest that we've seen the dollar in a while? I think it may be. Let's come over here and we'll take one of these. We'll duplicate it and we'll switch it over to the 6E. And then we'll add our dollar index to it. Synthetic dollar index. And remove all this. We don't need all this stuff. So this will take a bit. So coming back over here now. Man, why is the camera being like this? Hold on a second. I must have plugged it in the wrong spot. Okay. I'd come and just reactivate the. Well, that's a little better. Then I have to do this thing. It sure stopped at a weird spot, didn't it? Okay, that's a little better. All right, hopefully that. Oh, I also look weird because I shaved my mustache off because I had so much blood coming down into it. Oh, that's funny. So I kind of got the Mennonite thing going on. All right, where were we? Okay, we got auctions, we got Fed National Activity Index. What else do we have going this week? I think that we have market. Oh, yeah, we do. We got PMIs, 745. We got other stuff this week. Let's just look at this week. Consumer confidence, preliminary GDP. Thursday is a bank holiday. Are we actually open on Friday? Well, whatever. Or speculator. So, I don't know if we'll be doing like the same kind of rants we normally do. Breathe. I'm just going to try and focus really hard on the action and let you guys have fun. So I'm going to leave the text speech on. Be responsible. Let's not post all of the updates and stuff today. I don't think that we want to hear all those, but we can have some fun with it. It won't be too serious. I don't know if I'll try making any trades, but we will try watching the action here. It's pretty slow so far, though. E-minis moving, at least. Although it kind of looks like they want to move it down, doesn't it? Man, that sucks. I just feel kind of depressed about it now. Oh, you know what? There's something I do want to share with you guys. I don't know if this is really applies to any of you guys, but TradingView is doing a deal.
Lobo Trader says,
So
good morning,
if
Seth,
you
and team
if you
smiley
sign
face.
up for TradingView, not only do you get like 60% off right now if you sign up for a year. So like normally Pro is like $179 for 13 months. And with this, it is $108. But not only that, but if you sign up with a somebody's link, so I'll give you guys a referral link right here. And if you have a TradingView account, you can totally go and post a sharing link in the Discord
Speculator
or
Seth
whatever
Day
if you guys
Trading
want.
says. Vlad Stolyarov says, yeah, I heard they do every year Black
you
Friday.
both get $30 when they sign up through that link. So that's pretty special. Yeah, I hear they do that every year. Yeah, they do a discount pretty much every year, but this sharing thing I think is new. So that's pretty good. I really like them because they have by far the best web interface out there. I used to use the Pro subscription until I started actively trading futures, because back then that was the only way that I could get the live data, right, when I was at work. But now, you know, I've got all this other stuff, so I don't use it, but they're pretty good. And you can trade futures with them, and although it's not the best platform for it, but it works. So we got that going on. Let's see what else they got. I need TweetDeck up. Oh, we haven't checked Bitcoin. Bitcoin had a little bit of a decline over the weekend and is now back up in that area. So you can see there's kind of those first little signs of it starts to get volatile
Lobo
up
Trader
here.
says
What'll
also
happen.
have some good code there in
Probably
TradingView. Found some
there'll be
ideas
a
for
really
value
big
area
move.
calc.
Maybe after Thanksgiving. That hopefully is the retail rush. And then after the retail rush, then you get one more move after that, and then it falls apart. Have found good code in TradingView. Yeah, well, I like that. I really like this whole idea of you make an indicator, you put it out there, and everybody can see it. NinjaTrader should have a. I mean, they kind of have something like that, but it's not nearly as integrated, right?
Lobo Trader says it's PineScript but not so much away from C#.
Let's see what they got going on here. Okay, Black Friday will be a holiday. Limited trading that day.
Vlad Stolyarov
Because
says
it
you would
is
need
a
like
holiday
CQG
week.
for TradingView to show futures on charts.
I seem to recall it being pretty limited during this time, but when stuff is going on, the markets react and you do get stuff. You would need like CQG for TradingView to show futures on charts. Yeah, well now you can show live data on charts if you subscribe to a certain tier. I don't know what tier it is anymore, but to be able to see like level 2 and actually trade it, then yes, you need CQG, and then you can sign into CQG with TradingView and trade it. Oh, this Sidney Powell thing. Have you been seeing this Sidney Powell thing? Sidney Powell been making these big claims like she's going to release the Kraken. That's
Lobo
what she's
Trader
been
says
saying.
that Vlad Stolyarov, I got some relative low-cost real-time
And,
data, CME, ACA, and
I
so
think
forth.
people have been rightly skeptical, and Tucker Carlson was skeptical about her. And now I guess Team Trump cut her loose. But she's still supposed to release the Kraken today. I actually think that her court case might go somewhere, or it will at least be interesting, but I don't think that it's going to overturn the results of the election. Man, I sound so awful just talking. The tone of my voice is so gross. It just makes me think of those things that I've got up at my nose. And
Lobo
like,
Trader says, boss, Seth, you sound sick. Lobo Trader says disappointed.
I think I can kind of
Lobo Trader
smell
says
like
yeah.
the dried blood. It's not a good feeling.
Vlad Stolyarov says type slightly smiling face. Vlad Stolyarov says just don't talk slightly smiling face.
Just don't talk type. I need to breathe. Pretty good little jump there in the E-mini. How come I don't have... Oh, because that's NQ. We see news. Oh, Chicago National Activity Index 0.83 versus a previous 0.27. So that's got to be what that's all about. If Powell had anything to release, Team Trump wouldn't have cut her loose in the first place? It is just a weird story, I think. Let's see if the Donald guys are saying about it.
Vlad Stolyarov says big moves in altcoins over weekend.
Where are the big altcoins moving? I'm sure that you're going to see some people banking in profits.
Vlad Stolyarov says XRP.
This rotation that you see in
they keep Bitcoin near
Bitcoin,
highs, they trying to catch up to it.
it takes a little bit
Vlad
to get
Stolyarov
going. That's
says
where
40% move.
I think there's a problem that you kind of get this churn.
Vlad
And
Stolyarov
it
says since
seems
20th.
like everything's all hunky-dory and if it goes down, I'll be able to get out. And then the move actually comes and it's like the whole thing moves at once. No. Wow. TC is trying to vaccinate your kids without telling your parents. No parental notification or consent. TC Council to make a final vote on a bill that would allow minors to get vaccinated without parental consent. I don't know, man. I've seen a lot of false claims about this vaccine, but it is definitely a different type of vaccine.
QQ says, I remember back when I was trading crypto in 2016-27, when Ethereum goes up, it's time to get outlawed.
For COVID, they're a different type of
Vlad
vaccine.
Stolyarov says, I was looking at Platforms
And,
TradeStation offers crypto trading and
I think
Tasty
it's
Works and plans to
completely
do it too,
fair
I
to
think.
be concerned about what the long-term effects of them are. They don't rewrite your gene code like some people think, but they are kind of using the virus's
Vlad Stolyarov says Robinhood been doing
the way that the virus works against it by putting the mRNA out there so that your cells build the part that they need to detect.
Vlad Stolyarov says oil is sitting at interesting chart pattern.
Okay, so that rise in the E-mini off
daily.
of the Chicago National Activity Index does appear to be
QQ says, now when I want to get into Bitcoin,
retracing.
I just buy GBTC Trust. I think just a lot easier, and also price per unit is way lower.
You just buy GBTC Trust? I've never heard of that. Well, you could do crypto trading on NinjaTrader, in fact. But what I really want is I want a safe way to short. I want to buy, I want to be able to buy a $500 put. That's what I want. I want to buy a $500 put to expire in, say, January. And I've been looking, but I can't find it.
Block buy.
Whoa. Okay.
Vlad Stolyarov says, wow. Vlad Stolyarov says, right now I think is going to be seasonal altcoin time where they coming out of 1 year plus consolidation. Vlad Stolyarov says, who pressed the fat finger? Rob Farley says, whoa.
White House weighs new action against Beijing, says sources.
QQ says, Mamma Mia.
No, Israeli Netanyahu declines to comment in a public appearance on reported visit to Saudi Arabia. It's got to be that. It's got to be that. White House weighs new action against Beijing. I'm gonna move this over here.
Lobo Trader says crap. Lobo Trader says what happened? I missed. Vlad Stolyarov says AAPL reacted to. QQ says someone thought the market was open already, lol.
Wow. Dang, moved up. Okay, let's just wait. That's got to be Trump administration considers alliance to retaliate against Chinese economic coercion, says sources.
Lobo Trader says, what was this, please? Anybody knows?
That's got to be it. That was pretty strong.
Vlad
Like that
Stolyarov says looks
lagged
like
my
it's back
whole
to highs.
interface. It had a hard time dealing with all of the data
Vlad
coming in
Stolyarov
there.
says on lower volume. Vlad Stolyarov says NQ more
tried to
crazy.
embellish vaccine data. SVB Larinic says AstraZeneca vaccine will never be licensed in the US, they claim. Okay.
Vlad Stolyarov says maybe it's a short. Vlad Stolyarov says looking at NQ it's testing this whole range.
I don't know. It looks like there's some bulls out there that are persisting.
Vlad Stolyarov says 40-point channel right now in NQ slightly down from 2 a.m.
Everybody's picking up on it now.
Vlad Stolyarov says they disabling the robots slightly smiling face.
Huh.
QQ says iceberg is here. Vlad Stolyarov says watch 75.
It don't kind of push down the cost basis from the longs. It's interesting. That was a huge hit in volume, man.
Vlad Stolyarov says I wonder if we get these crazy moves VC low liquidity on news later in day.
Light, doesn't it?
Vlad Stolyarov says BBY earnings pre-market Tuesday.
Wonder if we get these crazy moves because of low liquidity on news later in the day. Well, a pretty good chance that when the open comes that the liquidity will change and we'll see where it's at. The liquidity didn't necessarily disappear in the treasuries. Interestingly enough, the treasuries are moving lower here, which is not what we would expect given the headline that we think was moving them, that they're weighing action against Beijing. That would tend to move the treasuries up. But I guess these guys over here are still net bullish. See if they do it over here in the treasury. It's kind of odd behavior.
Vlad Stolyarov says 4 hours is kinda wedge formation S. Vlad Stolyarov says 65 middle. Lobo Trader says how one can trade this? I am only lucky, closed a big Russell long 2 minutes before this spike. I would have hit my stop loss, if I would have been life. And then now I would be back to previous.
How could one trade this? Well,
Lobo Trader says this is no good. How can one think this
Think
can be
about
put
it.
into a system?
in terms of informed trading versus market makers, right? What's going on right now? We just had a flood of informed trading come in and stop out a lot of market makers, and as a result, market makers pulled their liquidity. So if you're a market maker,
QQ says what
then
is
you
the
need to
best
pull
news
your
source for futures
liquidity
day
and have
traders?
a larger spread, essentially, right?
QQ says for equities.
What is the best news source for futures day traders? Well, the best news source is always going to be a Bloomberg terminal, but that's a little bit too expensive, right?
Vlad Stolyarov says Bazinga maybe.
So next tier down, you've got Benzinga, Trade the News, Rand, Squawk, or News Squawk now, formerly Rand Squawk. There's a couple of other on that tier. I personally like Rand Squawk though, but maybe that's because I like what they give you on Treasury side. And then below that, you've got Financial Juice, which is what I use. Hopefully got a video about Financial Juice coming soon. I wanted to make one this week, but I don't know if I'll be able to do that, given my condition. So I don't think that I'm going to be all that much better on Thursday and Friday, you know? And then below that, there's Twitter. And so in this particular case, I saw it on Twitter. Yeah, for those of you tuning in late, I had surgery on Friday on my nose, and that's why I sound so retarded. I have these stents up in my nose. It's like a plastic tube like this long, and that's what you're hearing. And when it kind of vibrates, it's not a pleasant sound, is it? What the heck? Ivanka Trump herd immunity and return to normalcy by May. Are they talking about the AstraZeneca thing? Miracle vaccine, yes.
Lobo Trader says so become better soon, slightly smiling face.
Okay.
QQ says thanks for sharing financial juice. Never heard of it before.
So what we've seen is the market makers, it looks like a lot of market makers just completely pulled their liquidity, but the other ones are going to, where their best bid and their best offer are going to be, they're going to put it further apart, right? So we need to pay attention to where they're holding the liquidity at. And in the E-mini, they haven't really, they've given us a few indications on the upside, but not on the downside yet. And we're not getting more informed traders coming in and trying to sell it, which is surprising. Fed's pal is to appear before Senate Banking Committee on December 1st to discuss the CARES Act with Secretary Treasury Mnuchin. Oh, man. Treasury Secretary Mnuchin. Oh, you see, I'm like out of it. Thanks for sharing financial juice. Never heard of it before. No problem. Yeah, they told me they were gonna give me a referral code here, but I'll follow up with them on that next week. It's the holidays and everything. But it's $70 a month, I think, financial juice now to get their live squawk, which is a pretty good deal considering. And they did a founding member deal, so I got the founding member deal. So okay, so you can see down here. Well, there wasn't that cluster volume there in the 66 area was from the first downturn, and this most recent down move, they haven't been able to get below 67 or so.
Vlad Stolyarov says pre-market had volumes eat 500.
You don't really see anything unusual in the volume on the DOM in that area, so.
QQ says yeah, I will probably get the annual subscriptions if I even need one. Tom Barnard says hi Seth. Vlad Stolyarov says pretty much my plan according to other trader on Twitter too. Above 3,584 or below 3,541 are the breakout levels from this consolidation.
Sorry, I'm going to be a little quiet today because I'm
3,564 is my pivot. Tom Barnard says not good. Tom Barnard says what happened. Onik says hello, someone out of space today?
Probably I need to take a Tylenol here. Someone out of space today? You talking about me?
Gary Rich says why are you trading?
Why
you
are
should
you
be
trading?
resting.
I don't know why I'm in a position. Come to think of it, Gary was just kind of a
Vlad
reflex.
Stolyarov says I would cover short. Vlad
It's on,
Stolyarov
it's
says
on
it's
a
vouching
demo account.
66.5.
It's fine. I have some fun with it. I've been resting. I don't feel tired. I do feel kind of out of breath though, and maybe lightheaded, which is a little unusual.
Tom Barnard says at Gary Rich Daddy Gary is here HHH.
So you get that 5K
Tom Barnard
at
says there
10
is
and a
something
half.
wrong with
That's
Seth.
probably market maker
Vlad
balancing.
Stolyarov says I am very interesting in crypto platforms.
There's something
VC
wrong
they
with
move so
Seth?
much and we in range.
Yeah, there is.
Tom Barnard says take a rest,
I had
Seth.
surgery on Friday, and I have a stint up my nose, so I sound weird because of
Gary
having
Rich
a stint
says
up my
dude you
nose.
sound like crap. Take time to rest up.
Yeah, I probably
Take care of
sound
your
really
body.
dumb, huh?
Trading will be here tomorrow.
It's okay. I've slept so much the past few days. And yeah. No big deal. One way or another, I mean, if I start to feel it really icky, I will just walk out and sit down
Winston's
for a bit.
mom says good Monday morning and you
But I
look a
keep
bit
this going
peaked and why
because I
does your
want to
nose
have it
hurt?
recorded.
Oh, nose surgery.
I want
Will
to
you
be
look
able to
like
see
Jennifer
the order
Lopez
flow afterwards, especially after what we just had happen here with this China news. You look a bit peaked.
Tom Barnard says surgeries are fun.
Yeah. Well, I was pretty concerned about it like yesterday morning. I was like, this is not this thing right here. It's coming out. It's not supposed to be doing that. There's a little bit of blood still up there. So a little bit of red. This side, I think, is mostly dried up, but not this side.
Gary Rich says just wait till you get the globs of blood coming out.
Oh, the treasury
fun,
trade
fun.
was really good catch. I haven't had a catch like that in a while. Oh yeah, yesterday because there's like this blood
Tom
clot
Barnett
over
says you
here
look cuter,
that's
though, with
stuck
your
on a
plastic
stitch or
surgery.
something. I'm actually concerned that it's not healing right, but you know, I blew gently like this, and that clot kind
Ango
of
says
pushed
do I
down.
have Toby Premium member for
and
indicator?
some really gross sticky stuff. I was able to pull out a lot. Do I have to be a premium member for the indicator? Yeah, so I have to apologize first about all of that because it's still kind of
Winston's
like
mom says
a
no
new
bruises,
thing
usually a
and we're
nose
testing
job.
it out
I
and
mean,
everything.
nose surgery
But
means you are all bruised around the face and your
if
eyes.
you go to
Did you take some arnica
speculatorseth.com,
beforehand?
you can download my indicators and we'll let you use them for 2 weeks. After that, it will require authorization. So to get that, you have to subscribe to the channel as an elite member and then send an email. And there's instructions on how to do that on the website. Which, by the way, I haven't checked that today. But you'll have to bear with me a little bit as I get that going. Get my routine and everything set up with that correctly because I have to do it all by hand. Fortunately, there's not a way to really hit it in. Yeah. Okay, somebody wants some information about the spread indicator.
Gary
They
Rich
want to
says,
do
Seth,
it
can I
in
get a senior citizen
TradingView,
discount?
which would be
Support
completely
old
different.
people. Lol.
Gary, can I get a senior citizen? Gary, do you use NinjaTrader? You have the normal subscription anyways, right? So the thing is you have to go into NinjaTrader. I'll show you. How do you do this? You go help, about, and it will tell you this machine ID, and you have to send me that machine ID. But yeah. And what was I going to say? Oh, you know what? I think I could do it over here. Let's see if I can.
Dan H. says enjoyed Gary's input yesterday.
What I really
Tom
want
Barnard
is I
says
want
at
to
Gary
get
Rich,
you,
you can take
you
it from
into
there if Seth's
the
plastic surgery messes him up. Daddy Gary.
if you're a subscriber, there's also channels in Discord that you can
watching
see
speculators
that
its
open up
nose.
to you.
Will everyone please hit the like button for his trading channel,
I would
not
really
for
like
his
to
nose.
get some of you guys
Thanks.
in there that have been around for a long time and just get stuff going over there. It won't let me do it because he's over there. Yeah, so
Gary
let me
Rich
just show
says
you.
I tried. I'm really stupid and dumb.
And then I'm going to go sit down because I'm feeling a little faint. So you come in here, indicator suite now available. How to install. And then down at the bottom, subscribing to full access, see further instructions here. And it tells you
Tom
what
Barnard
to do.
says at Gary Rich, Big Daddy Gary.
So just do that part, Gary, and I'll take care of it. I'm going to go sit down for a second.
Winston's mom says if speculator Seth falls asleep on his chair, we can just keep streaming until he wakes up. Let's put Gary Rich in charge of Speculator's channel. Tom Barnard says the greatest things in America are Trump and a good old scold from Big Daddy Gary. Winston's mom says, did everyone have a nice weekend and is everyone ready for the holiday weekend coming up? Thanksgiving turkeys defrosting, cranberry sauce can opener at hand.
If Speculator Seth falls asleep on his chair, we can just keep streaming until he wakes up. There we go. Well, I'm thinking we should, I don't know. I do feel a little lightheaded. Like when that big move happened, I was like, is this really happening? Or am I dreaming right now?
Winston's mom says maybe you should go lay down. Is someone at home with you, just in case you faint on us?
Yeah, my wife is home. That's what I was just thinking about, is I was like, she's sleeping if something happens. I don't think I'm gonna pass out though.
Octavia C says you should call it take a rest.
In fact, I just went up there and checked on her and she was out cold. But I don't want to call it and just go sit in the chair, because all I'm going to do is just sit in the chair. I'd rather watch this. So, yeah. Oh, wow, that nostril just opened up. Can you hear that? Oh, man. Now, we'll be fine. I think we're okay. Okay. Now that we got that, we can kind of relax. I mean, we were already relaxing, but I don't see a lot coming through on Twitter about all this. Tesla trades higher after receiving upgrade. This new bull case is 1,000. Ugh.
Winston's mom says my lawn guy is out back with a leaf blower.
Your lawn guy
That
is
is
out
not a
back with a
relaxing
leaf
sound.
blower. That's funny.
Tom Barnard says your nose job totally worked. Tom Barnard says your new nose looks way better.
Your nose job totally worked. It looks way better. It shouldn't look any different. In fact, well, it'll probably be a little wider because it's actually quite swollen right now in this area. But and I
Winston's
guess
mom
there
says
will be a
ROFL.
little
Tom
bump
Barnard
here
speculator
on the
says is ready for
side
his
that you'll
close-up.
see previously that won't be there as much. But other than that, it shouldn't be any difference. They didn't do anything with this. They didn't do anything with this. You see how well, you can kind of see how it's a little crooked still. So this is the side that it was like badoosh. It was like it grew out this way. It was like somebody took a finger and pushed it like that. So you can kind of see how on this side it's a little this well, and that's interesting. There's a bump there. That's swelling, I think. And that's swelling right there. That's
Tom
kind
Barnard
of where
says
the
it's more
stints
symmetrical now.
are popping out. And it's swollen. Yeah, it'll probably look a little bit more symmetrical because you can see going straight down that it's not 100% symmetrical. But my face is just not symmetrical, man. Like this eye, the thing that drives me crazy is this eye will kind of squint more than this eye. Be like that. I don't know if you can see that. I can't look at myself and look in the camera at the same time, but I try to look like this. Both eyes open. And when I'm doing TikToks, it always looks like I'm high.
Rob Farley says good time to be a coke dealer. Can't steal any.
Cool. Does look like they're fading lower.
Ace Trades says morning folks. Gary Rich says lol lol lol, remember don't get high on your own supply. Drug dealers rules.
So now are they going to do it on this other side too? Well, I don't know what that 5317 at 12.5 was from. That must have been when we touched that high up at the top before. But now I kind of am getting some signs of market balancing at 12
Rob
in the
Farley
10-year.
says at ACE Trades, well, good morning sunshine. Ace Trades says at Winston's mom morning love. Smiling face. Ango says how do I use inventory cost basis? Ace Trades says at Rob Farley lol, yep, just dragging my butt in. Winston's mom says good morning. Ace Trades, we are observing speculators at nose and hoping he does not fall out of his chair because he's high on medications. How was your weekend? Ready for Thanksgiving?
There's Ace. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to text Ace here something. I'm going to text him just in case. I don't think I'm going to pass
no
out, but
today.
like, I don't know. You guys said enough to make me worried about it.
Ace Trades says at Winston's mom good weekend, and as ready as I think we can be. Got some sickness in the house, fingers crossed.
I don't even remember which
Ace
one
Trades says oh
was
dear,
his
getting a
number.
text from Seth. What did I miss? Gary Rich says let's see if Seth passes out, hits a buy order and makes 5k. Winston's mom says oh geez, Ace Trades. I am
Let's
sending
see
your
if Seth
family healing
passes out,
thoughts.
hits a buy order, and makes 5k.
Ace Trades says at Winston's
That'd
mom
be
thanks my
hilarious.
love. Ace Trades says at W.
I don't think I actually saved him into my phone, and Facebook has it all weird. I'll do it on Facebook.
Ace Trades says at Winston's mom the cases are on a runaway surge here in our state. We have immunocompromised folks in the house.
There. Oh, why do I have myself full screen still? You want to see this?
Winston's mom says Ace Trades, we can, thankful, next Thanksgiving. This one, not so much. I haven't been out and about since Feb. I locked down a bit early now and boy do I need a vacation.
Oh, that was the... I don't have it saved.
Gary Rich says in Cali we are
because
in
the way
purple
on
lockdown.
Android,
People
it
are paying
doesn't go into
$150 to get closer in
address
line
book
for a
very
COVID
well.
test. I'm like, how dumb?
I'm feeling a little lightheaded, but I don't think anything's wrong. I think I'm just lightheaded because, you know, I had surgery a few days ago. Pretty relaxed. I'm just thinking like a chair like this wouldn't be the best thing to pass out in, but you are in purple lockdown. That sucks. The funny thing is, you want to breathe through your nose, like, because you feel like you're suffocating and you can't breathe through your nose. But then when you breathe through your nose, it's going through the stint, so you don't get that sensation of the air going all the way through. So it doesn't really actually satisfy. Well, that E-mini looks like it wants to stay bullish for whatever reason. They don't seem to believe that the piece of news that we got that broke things that was actually a thing. They're treating it as just a Twitter stop run sort of a thing. We are seeing some of the liquidity has come back.
Winston's mom says you're a mouth breather now, just like an old person. Now you know why they get tired so quickly. And yes, I am a boomer, but I am not old yet.
Yeah, breathing out of your mouth for a few days is not fun. There, I sent it to my Facebook and text. I don't think anything is going to happen, but I do feel a little lightheaded, so I feel like we might as well be careful. Sit and relax and watch it.
Ace Trades says 2 minutes. Winston's mom says Gary Rich, I haven't tried
Were
getting
you
tested in
watching
Tennessee,
when
but there
that
are more cows
cell
than people
came
here
in,
and I don't
Ace?
see reports of people waiting in long lines here. I do worry my Juliet ferret could catch it. Vlad Stolyarov says I would look for shorts off extremes. Vlad Stolyarov says 66.5 current bounce zone. Ace Trades says nope.
Nope. Oh, it was incredibly wild.
Rob Farley says don't trust these pops.
Yeah, don't trust them. Well, it could be it does seem like it was a rumor. There wasn't a lot of details on what it was. Other than Trump being harder on China, I guess.
Vlad Stolyarov says 85 is my extreme area.
I guess. Okay, I guess they're going to do that. And they want to start the open with a buy. It's okay.
Why trader says bullish on S? Winston's mom says, speaking of rumors, did Trump fire Sidney Powell, the attorney pleading his
Did
election
Trump
appeals?
fire Sidney Powell? There's some question in my mind as to whether or not she was ever on the team, to be honest, when.
Vlad Stolyarov says we in range 40
But they have
65 middle
definitely
80s.
distanced themselves from her, claiming that what
Rob
she
Farley
was
says,
claiming
haven't
was
lost all night.
beyond what they were looking at and trying and thought that they could prove.
Rob Farley says VWAP.
So the whole thing is kind of really weird. I wouldn't just write off her case, but it's unlikely to change the result of the election. Like, I really think that most of these people on the right are being yanked around. They don't realize how big of a long shot this really is at this point. So that spot being a little stubborn here.
Tom Barnard says strange what
Treasury's
American have to
still
go through for a
staying up
nose
there.
job.
Goes bid. All right. They're willing to do business with us at a 12.5. I'm going to take it off there. And this one I'm going to get out because it's too tight. Okay. Strange what Americans have to go through for a nose job. Well, it's a little different from what most people consider a nose job, though, right? Because we're not doing anything up here or out here or any of that. It's just
Vlad
on
Stolyarov says let's not talk about
cartilage
noses.
underneath. Republicans seek order blocking Pennsylvania vote certification.
Tom Barnard says HHHHH just kidding bro HHHH. Vlad Stolyarov says staring into abyss.
Looks like NASDAQ is doing pretty strong here this morning.
Vlad Stolyarov says TSLA hits 514 high. Vlad Stolyarov says all-time pre-market high 538 last Tuesday.
Really?
Vlad Stolyarov
Tesla
says in
new all-time
September.
high close to it, huh? I don't know. I don't know if this bid in the NASDAQ is going to hold, to be honest with you.
Winston's mom says MarketWatch says that they think Biden will pick former Fed chief Janet Yellen as his Secretary of Treasury.
MarketWatch thinks they will pick Janet Yellen as the Secretary of Treasury. Last time I heard, they were really certain that it was going to be Baynard. I mean, I thought Janet was retired. The funny thing is that people were saying that
Vlad
Janet
Stolyarov
is too
says
hawkish.
Yellen does need to come back to adjust ties.
Ugh.
Vlad Stolyarov says J. Powell is a mess.
Like, we don't know if they'll put her in because she's too hawkish. J. Powell is a mess. I think
Vlad
they let
Stolyarov
other
says
people
Ream
get
News
to him,
gap
yeah.
filled almost to Friday close.
He seems really smart, but he had trouble playing the political game.
Vlad Stolyarov says NQ important here. Winston's mom says 4 days ago, AP it's either Janet Yellen or Lael Brainerd. You'll find it as someone who I think will be accepted by all elements of the Democratic Party, progressives through the moderate coalition.
What are my Yota numbers? From Sunday. Nothing. Yeah, that's okay. I still really enjoy this Yota thing. That's funny that those people would be accepted by all elements of the Democratic Party.
Vlad Stolyarov says TSLA
I think that
will it go
it's
para.
just safe establishment picks.
Vlad Stolyarov says it might get exhausted in an NQ2. Tom Barnard says look down.
Well, the trade in the E-mini is still steadily up, but pretty slow. I am concerned about them running into the market makers and exhausting out and then pushing lower. Or that a follow-up headline comes out and really pushes them down.
Winston's mom says Scott Bio and I may be the only one here who knows he is from Happy Days. The TV show is threatening, teasing, or thinking, depending on your politics, of moving to Utah to unseat Mitt Romney.
Moving to Utah, I don't think that would do it. I think the only person they could unseat Mitt Romney is Jason Chaffetz.
Vlad Stolyarov
And
says FB made
Mitt
a low
Romney
under
would
2
have to
previous
continue
days.
to do things that piss Republicans off, even after Donald
Vlad
Trump is now
Stolyarov
gone.
says FB kinda bearish.
If he keeps doing stuff that we all don't like, I think Jason could do it.
Ace Trades says at Winston's mom, not only do I know that about Scott, I also remember when Morgan Freeman was known as Easy Rider. Maxwell says, is there a way for me to mute the chat TTS? Vlad Stolyarov says AAPL not moving
Was
up.
there a way to mute that? Oh, I'm not even hearing the chat text to speech. What the heck? I'm so dumb. Oh, guys. I didn't think it was working. I'll turn it off just for you, Maxwell. I didn't realize, or I wouldn't be talking over it like that. Yeah. So let's see here. Uh-huh. What are we doing? I'm trying to figure my audio out. Okay, what caused that spike? That was the PMI numbers. 56.7 versus an estimated 53. I don't know if that's really justified by the news. To be honest, that's kind of odd. Huh.
3.
You can hear it. How come I can't hear it?
Vlad Stolyarov says 88S.
It's kind of weird. I'm going to try restarting Voice Meter Banana. I don't think it's working properly. Yeah, it's definitely, it's like crashing on me. Well, look, the treasury's come all the way back down there. So you have to be thinking maybe the people at equities knew those numbers were going to come out, and that's why they were so stubborn about all that. I don't think that number's that big of a deal, though. 56.7 versus an estimated 53. Is that really a big deal? Okay, let's try this again. Aha.
Vlad Stolyarov says FB recovering.
Okay. So sorry about all of that. I didn't realize I was like talking over the Texas speech. They went as high as 96? Oh. The micros did, but the... Wow. So there was a real discrepancy between the regular futures and the micros. That's interesting. Look at the treasury come back down too. I don't think they can hold it, but it's unusual for them to move that strongly off of PMI. See that right there? Did you get a pullback yet? Okay. Sure enough, uptick at 10.5. E-mini pretty stuck there. Still a lot of liquidity below us. It is evening out a little bit though. Oh, those are tickets. I think she's over in there. Hold on. Well, that's weird. I don't know where my wife went. NGO asks, how should I use the indicator again? Bottom line shows longs, tops are short, so enter near those positions. No, actually. So there is a slight tendency for them to want to bounce between the two middle lines. But what you're actually going to find is that there's a lot of jockeying for position in those spots. And so they don't necessarily make very effective entries. They make very effective exits, though. Especially if you were having a fast move. Like, for instance, this stop out move that we had a little bit earlier. What happened? Went right. You could see it went right back to that buyer's cost basis and bounced off of it. So, but the way that I read it is if we're above the solid blue line, then we're generally bullish. And if we're below the solid orange line, then we're generally bearish. And the objective, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get, keep it above that blue line and get past the dotted orange line. They'll usually go quite a bit past the dotted orange line, and then eventually they'll fizzle out and come back the other way, which is what it appears to be doing at the moment. Just remember that those are the spots that people are going to fight at. They don't necessarily predict what's going to happen, right? So it's showing you the underlying market positioning. Then you have to look at what the situation is to kind of figure out what you want to do. So I'm reading it right now. They went long off of that market number. I think that they went too far. They should come back. So I'm thinking that they'll probably come back to the 50, 35, 76 area. They're going to try and bounce off of 81.25 first. I could see there being a little... The market makers at the 10-year will be a little shifty, so... Okay, I know where she went. It's all good. It's all good now. Okay, so I'm seeing some size at 10.5. Actually, so I could do this. Just see if I get a lucky fill. You got 10 points on that? Wait, you went long? You were long? You lucky little kid. I have to say that move up, it was a FOMO. Yeah, that move up was a pretty sketch, Because what happened? They pushed down off of this kind of a rumorish headline that we're all trading this, and meanwhile, the pros were all interested in the market number, and the market number pushed us up like huge. But like, I can't remember market manufacturing services numbers being that influential in the past. It's really weird. Wow. I'm gonna bail on that one. Like, even though the buyer is willing to pick some liquidity up there, there shouldn't be that many people willing to sell it at 10. So while you were texting, I see. Okay. Well, we got a really good trade in the 10-year originally. It looks like NQ is weakening and it's coming back to where we were originally. They're balancing back out. Looks like I could have gotten that 10.5 after all. One of the concerns I have at this moment, though, is that we're coming back to like, that's like stop all of the longs out. There might be bounce. So 35.57, remember that's what we're saying. That's where I expect them to come back to. At that point, we're at a decision point. Do they go outright short on the day after that? Well, they came back pretty quickly, didn't they? So maybe they are going to push the open and we'll move lower, right? So we could try that right there. But we should see quite a bit of fighting around it, right? Let's just pull that out, because if they do a stop run down on the lows, they're just gonna sweep through there. So okay. Okay. So they're being a little shy about this low. So here at 11, they've pulled pretty good. At 500 have hit it to it, but you're not getting more than that. So that kind of says to me that the market makers are actually pretty happy with it in this area, taking it this area here. And I would need to start seeing some like really aggressive buying at 11 and 11.5 to really feel super confident in continued up move in the 10-year. And same with this falling all the way out in the E-mini. Like they're testing it, they haven't gone for it yet. And I bet you that if they go for it, that it's not just going to be like an instant, like everything falls apart. So there's a stop run. You see, it's not. That wasn't that great, actually. It's a little tight. Okay, so let's see the push a little bit more. Okay, I'm just going to take my 8. Since they are absorbing against it. Feel quite a bit more lucid now. Yeah, that was a good trade. And you know what? That other one that I scratched in the 10-year was a good trade too, even though I could have taken one out of it. I understood what the liquidity was doing really well there, and I'm really happy about it. What I'm not happy about is not catching the upside. Expecting a continuation move and it never happened. Okay, so well, they're gonna push it again. It can get stops again. They probably could. They could probably get all the way to 35.64. So let's see. Yeah, 10.5 goes off for again, so you see how where the market makers kind of have it at. So 10.5 has kind of really become the center. We could try buying it again at 10, but you're unlikely to get filled there. And if you do get filled, you want to be worried about it being a toxic fill. So this one is not as good of a setup because it could be random what you get filled there. I'm looking for a stochastic divergence indicator for Ninja. I've never heard of that. Don't want to get stuck on the downside if the flush wasn't done yet. Yeah, but you can see that they're kind of holding the liquidity, can't you? And there's that fill. So those fills at 10 and 9.5, that's exactly what I was talking about that you'd want to be worried about. Well, based on Wynn's description of a stochastic divergence oscillator, I think that you just want stochastics in NinjaTrader, which they have. Now, I wonder, does Lizard have one? Lizard. You don't like the ones you found? What's wrong with them? Comment here. All indicators. Let's see if he's got anything that starts with the stochastics. He does. It looks like he has a generalized version of stochastics so that you could run it on series other than price. So what is the feature that you would like in a stochastics indicator that you're not getting? I've been thinking stochastics in particular. They all look back too far? Well, but you can change that in the settings, right? The thing that I find weird about stochastics is that I see the word stochastics a lot in the market microstructure academic literature, and what they seem to think a stochastic process is seems to be very different from what the stochastics indicator does. Okay, so they're still toying with the 10. How we doing? We're doing okay. I kind of want to take some more trades at the E-mini, but I don't know. Pretty much canceled out our boo-boos earlier. Got a good trade in the 10-year. I could just call that quits. 8:30. We could do another hour of this. Some water here. Biggest problem is staying hydrated when your lips are like... You have to breathe out of your mouth. It really dries you out. It does look like they're going to hang out around here. So I actually think if we could find the right spot, that we could buy it here. The 10-year or the E-mini. I think I would need to see a little bit more than what I'm seeing at 35.73. too much resistance above? Well, what makes you think that? I don't think it's going to be there, to be honest, until 3581. Let me try to explain to you why I think that, okay? Again, I apologize for those of you that are late. I had a nose surgery on Friday, and that's why I sound so terrible. Okay, to the chart. So here's our chart. Let me get my pen here so I can like highlight stuff. So do you see there's 4 lines drawing on my chart here, right? This is average buyer position, average seller position, stop out all of the longs and stop out all of the shorts, okay? So what happened? We had a move up and it was quite an excessive move. So we had to, they were done, they took their profits, and that brings them back to seller's cost basis, right? Because basically, you know, these people are long from here, but you got this divide between them, so they often will come back across the divide. So now that we're to the divide, you got the question, are they going to go down for this 61, or are they going to rotate back up? Well, it looks like they're going down. Okay. So the thing is that once it gets to those levels, I can't necessarily predict what it's going to do, although I can kind of see you know, I can kind of watch the volume and see what they're doing. So right here, I see them fighting a little bit. I think that they're going to get flushed down again. Just barely not. Anyways, you see how I get that? So if they were to have moved up, they would probably be relatively balanced until 3584. And what you often will see, let's come back and draw some scenarios out, okay? So the negative scenario here is they're gonna do that. And then who knows? But the bullish scenario would have been to here, and then to here, and this sort of a thing. And they've done that quite a bit the past few weeks, right? Now above that, like above the previous high there, that's when I would be like, yeah, there's probably going to be some resistance. Although I wouldn't really call it resistance so much as they're just going to peter out there. They're not going to have the strength, you know. I don't think you'll see. One of the things that I find funny is we talk about support and resistance, and I'm like, okay, so were there a lot of people buying it at that location, preventing it from going up? Because most often that's not what happens at those spots. You know what I mean? It'll get down there and nobody cares about it anymore at that point. And that's why it stops. I don't know what you should do with your stock. I am not very up on individual stocks. I think that if you have to ask somebody else about a position, that you probably shouldn't be in it. Yeah. This has kind of been a sketchy move today, hasn't it? Vlad says Bob is getting extreme. Okay. Oh, it's unfortunate that we didn't catch any of this down move, but that's not what I thought was going to happen at the time, so. Maybe if I had been watching the order flow, I would have caught that a little better. Interestingly enough, though, the treasury is still rotating around that 10. So we could try buying 10. I do think that this could be one of those cases where it was like, so if they were buying because of the market number, then what reason do they have to continue buying now at this point, right? I don't think you want to be in anymore. But the issue is, again, is that if everybody bails, that takes us below 35.60, which is about where we're at. So probably you'll see, this is where some people will step on, like try and double on, and you will see it go past that. But once it gets past that, then you no longer have volume to rely upon, right? For it to go lower than that, you would need additional people to come in short. And I don't know if there's a reason for people to be doing that, This market is year 4. It needs a good slap. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, lad. Anish says, I'm from India and I like your oh, thank you very much, man. The funny thing is everybody was like at the beginning of the stream, they were like, dude, what are you doing? You should be resting. Go rest. You don't need to stream today. And I know I don't, but I would be bored. I'd be sitting there thinking, no, what's the market doing? I want to go look. I can't help it. It's well beyond dedication at this point. Oh man, I'm looking at my face down here in this thing and I just look, oh, it's so weird. It's not the most attractive face right now. Okay, so pretty hard bounce there off of the stop out. Market in shambles. Well, I wasn't able to catch the decision points very well, but it once again it follows the positions so well, doesn't it? I think that this buy line, this probably is going to come back up at some point, and it'll show you a more clear stop out line. Now this one is the interesting game because they're going to try and make it back to this area now, and you get this push and pull between this. I don't know if I'm really seeing like serious institutional interest in this thing right now. I kind of think that they just played a little game with us with the market numbers, and now it's done. Roku and parabolic. I've been hearing a lot about Roku lately. They just toy with our emotions. They really were. I still want to know what was up with that news story that really hit everything, though. I mean, that wasn't toying with them. That was a real market panic. Did they decide that it was fake news? Overreaction, I guess, but Treasury showing a slight upward bias now. They haven't been too interested in hitting like this 11 and 11.5 though. Do you think that they'll slip up again if they decide to hit those? Probably going to come up here and take out the range stop at 35.71. Feeling sleepy. Make sure I got Twitter up here. Oh, look at that. 09.5. They must be thinking that the index is going to come back up here really hard. Okay, well, being swept like that isn't necessarily how you want to get into a position. Okay. Seeing that iceberg at 10. The 10-year treasury. You sound pretty rough there. I do, yeah. I feel like I look ridiculous without I shaved my mustache off, but I didn't do the rest of it. And I just think I look so dumb. Especially when I smile and you can see the crease there. It's like, what is he doing? Anyways, and then yeah, you got this stitch up your nose. So there's a little bit of like this stuffiness down, but I think that you also can hear the reverberation of those stints, that plastic. This is like you're talking through a straw, you know what I mean? And so it doesn't sound good, does it? Earlier I was feeling a little faint, but I'm feeling a bit better now. Yeah, I have to catch my breath though. What's up with your nose? Oh, I got my deviated septum fixed on Friday. Hold on. Still getting some drainage. You don't want to see that, but that was some blood coming out. Yeah. So, oh man, that came back on us. Well, I think we can hold it for a little bit longer, but how have you been, John? Is everything good now with family all taken care of? Well, they pivoted there. Oh, that's what's pretty strong one now. Maybe I need to go and get my thing again. Are we getting these tight pivot action again? That's always annoying, isn't it? Well, yeah, I'm gonna have to say that's a reason to get out right there. All right, good to be back. Good to look at my nose. Let's see here. John says the kids are doing okay, I guess, as good as they can be given this circumstance. I gotcha. 2.4% is crashed and 5% must be jump off the building. 10%. What are we talking about? Can we get John? If John messages me in Discord, we could absolutely get John on the mic. We could get Ace on the mic too if you come into Discord. any of the days he's with this week, actually, because I'm probably going to be out of it the whole time. Who was that? Bank of England Governor Bailey. Christmas will not be normal this year. Oh, good to know. Well, I don't know what just happened there, but my nose cleared out quite a bit. It does look like that trade would have worked out if we could take it there. I don't know if that's a good spot, but there's liquidity there at least. And since the target is the open, I guess it's an okay. Yeah, it's an okay trade. Everything seems to be lining up at least. Yeah, Ace Man, why you're so anti-Discord? He's just too boomer, apparently. Yeah. He jumped on it once, but he was like, I think that the phone verification got him all screwed up. And I think you guys do it. I mean, he doesn't have the rich voice that that John does, but he's like the most Mormon sounding guy. He's he's got a really kind voice, and I think you guys will enjoy it. Yeah. This one would have made much more sense if it was back here, you know. I'm literally too dumb to do. That's what he says. Is there any demo platform that offers footprints for free? Well, there are footprint charts that you can download for NinjaTrader 8 that would allow you to use footprints with NinjaTrader and still be on demo. That's the only one that I know of. Mm, 5 years saw a lot of selling there, by the way. Seems like the treasuries are still kind of bearish. I would have thought that that big move up and everything would have changed their bias, but it did. They came back down and they're still selling it. They are free. There are definitely ones out there that are free. I'm pretty sure I used to have one on my machine, but I don't have it anymore. I don't remember where I got it, but we could definitely find you one or make one. Could you guide me to where to find a footprint? Do you have a Futures IO account? Because I know that there's at least 2 on Futures IO. Yeah, you could do Sierra charts. Although, don't you have to pay for like the $40 a month one to get the footprints in Sierra charts? Okay. Yeah, I told you a reversion to the mean. Um, I had a footprint chart that I could give you, but it's like broken. I would have to fix it. I would have to fix my footprint chart. Uh, I could really feel that it's stitched through the front of my nose up in here, and I could really feel it right now. It just feels like heavy there or something, you know? Like there's something there in your nose. Chris Christie, Trump's legal team has been a national embarrassment. These states get a certifier. Is this whole thing going to keep going on? That's what I want to know, because I'm bored of it. To be honest, I don't think it's going to change the outcome. I want to move on to the next thing. You know? Yeah, there we go. So I'm just kind of thinking about that big move that we kind of missed. Yeah, trader, you should ask in Discord. I bet somebody could find sent you one in Discord. That big move up, the way that we had that big dump and then we had the big move up and back. Like we came out, we handled it pretty well today. But I'm thinking, you know, if I wasn't sick, would I have done as well? And I'm not so sure that I would have. I think that whole market manufacturing move would have tricked me, would have caught me. Would I have had the guts to have shorted it all the way up in the 85 area? Like I was looking at it and thinking about it, but I was like, nah. Crossed my mind, but I didn't take it. So would I have taken that if I was wasn't sick? I don't know. Kind of interesting to think about, though. This was an interesting move on a Monday. I haven't seen something like this in a while. Something that just like looks really sketchy, you know. They did all sorts of stuff that they made price movements that they really shouldn't have been able to do. Like they really shouldn't have been able to overextend that far off of that market manufacturing number. The market rarely moves that far off of that number. I'm not quite sure what was in it that got them so excited. I'm gonna have to go look at that news later. But then on the downside, when we fell apart down to 60, that was also a little extreme. I think that it's much more reasonable for them to rotate around 35.76. I'd rather have a president who has more than one day. Oh, he'll have plenty of time to prepare. People are way too uppity about this transition team thing. I don't think it's going to matter. Donald Trump wasn't given an orderly transition, and it was fine, I think. Wasn't the end of the world, at least. Let's put it that way. Would have been nice. Playing with a VWAP. Or do you have your VWAP somewhere else? I have it at 3573. Maybe you have the ETH one, which would probably be, yeah, quite a bit lower. Okay. So interesting fight right there. Okay. You're reading some stuff about the AstraZeneca vaccine again. Definitely getting the volume shooting back and forth. Buyer's gonna pull it out this time. Hey, certainly the whole liquidity certainly didn't hold it in that 71 area. Look at how quickly, how easily they slipped through that. Treasuries tick down again, and that's pretty tough down tick. 3,000 on the offer. They had almost formed a pivot there if it had just a few seconds earlier. Clicky again. There's definitely now a lot of market makers bailing at 09.5. The ES definitely doing something here. I guess that one's not going to work out and they're going to fail. So hearing stuff coming over the squawk about Biden picking somebody as his deputy director of legislative affairs. So I don't know what that was all about. I guess there was also the top of the hour. I can see the case on both, but I suspect still bullish because of the way that the treasuries are moving. Oh, something's going on in the currency. Okay. Oh, and gold. When did gold fall out of bed? Ooh, that was the market manufacturing number. Killed gold. I guess that's what it killed. Hit the dollar too. That the dollar got strong because of that. That must be why that turned so hard. It wasn't necessarily that the number was good so much as it was that it was good compared to Europe. I mentioned gold. Yeah, I don't. I honestly don't read all of those flat. When I haven't been paying attention and I look over there and it's a big block of them, I'm like, oh, I can't do any of that. NIO was up. Wait, didn't NIO like completely fall apart last week? What was the deal with that one? Everybody on TikTok was complaining about it. Like, oh no, I was in NIO. And I was like, why are you all idiots? Yeah. Oh no, it's not. It's still up. In the past month. Well, they did have a pretty good pullback at one point last week, but it looks like they've recovered it. That's the NIL is one that drives me crazy. It's like it's literally a popularity thing. You're all in Tesla, you know that electric vehicle stuff has been doing well, so now you all want to get in on NIO because you feel like you missed the boat with Tesla. So you're all following on that one now. It just drives me crazy. This is like the last stock that I would want to be in. If I was already in it, they'd create like how far could it run, but I wouldn't be buying it. You know what I mean? Okay. Hey, in fact, oof, oof, that's not what we wanted. Are we gonna get a hammer here? Sure looks like a hammer. Okay, so it was a hammer. But, hmm. Darn. That's the end of that. Let's buy this over here in the treasury. So I'll be hearing stuff from the World Health Director, but I'm not quite sure why it's making that move. Abort all longs. Well, that could move. You're not going to get hit on those, right? There you go. Let's move one of these up and okay. Ooh. They're going all the way for it, aren't they? I think they have a hard time pushing much further, though. Oh boy. They trapped the lungs? I don't know about that one, man. I think that has to be some informed traders coming in short on something. That looks like informed trading to me. HF buy. Hey, thanks for stopping by. I'm definitely not so sharp today on picking those, are we? I thought that the upside move was okay, but we should have bailed on it a lot sooner than we did. I'm not sure what's causing all this down here. I could try buying it there, but they usually go a little bit further than that. So try to get an appointment to get a family member COVID test is harder than it looks, really? I mean, most places you just go and they give it to you. I did one where I had to spit before I did this, or before they would let me have a surgery. I had to do one where to spit. See, that's absorption right there. Though normally that will go a little further. BlackRock upgrades U.S. equities to overweight, huh? Ever hear of that on Twitter? So what this is all happening is my CPU like overdone. Yes, it is. So I think we should change some of this stuff, but I'm not sure what I should change it to. We'll look at that later. Big size at 10. Half now. It looks to be like somebody that was stuck. Let's see here. Third-party studies. Where'd that all come from? Preferences, that's what I'm looking for. I think I should change this to be see if that fixes things a little bit. Hit my CPU just a little bit too hard. Now this needs to move. Yeah. To 66 actually. Yeah, I think that does it. Where does rhythmic sit on this hierarchy? Rhythmic says it's only using 2%. Might just be time to upgrade the CPU, guys. I don't know. Could probably switch to a 3600. Hear more about this BlackRock report. I have a 1700X. The part of my problem is that I am doing the encoding on the CPU. That doesn't help. It's the first time though that I've done this where I've had these like if I limit this to like 20, let's say 20. Then I don't know if that. The thing is rhythmic wasn't the thing taking up memory. It was or taking up CPU. It was all Jigsaw was. It had it at 95% there for a moment. So right now they're doing 10%. Take that one off there. Looks like they're testing a new high but didn't go for it. Okay. Pushed for it. Got it. Yeah, it stops. Cool. I think we had a little bitty earthquake there. Wow. I don't think that that move was quite what I thought it was, to be honest with you. Oh, man. Huh. So it comes back up there as so easily. Still giving it a hard time up there, though. Twitter says it will make Biden at POTUS regardless of election outcome. What? Ooh, there's some nice trackers you gave us there, Gary. All three of the major vaccines have announced that, though, now, right? Like, we shouldn't be getting any more pops off of vaccines or therapeutic treatment news anymore, do we? Or is it just when they become approved, then it's the next step? I think I read that one in the Treasury correctly. When it comes up there, it looks so, like, bullish, but then doesn't go. Right? Just kind of stumbles back. Well, I'm still interested in this last move that caused us to turn back down, why it ran out the way that it did. Because I felt like it was very sudden, and it was just kind of like this flood of volume came through, and then do, right? Didn't really, it just kind of felt like it came out of nowhere. And I should be seeing some news about it, but nothing. cumulative delta since then has been pretty flat, despite a couple of moves that actually looked quite bullish. There, they're doing it again. Okay. Ticked it too, but not filled. GS expects 500. Yes, that's well. So I'd be careful with that one. So do you guys remember a couple months ago they were saying, there's this huge imbalance going into the month because these risk parity strategies are going to have to sell their indexes and buy bonds or whatever. And so there was some concern that was going to come through, and then in the end they just ended up buying into it super crazy. So that's what happened the last time we had a story like this. So even though it does seem like that we should have a sell going into the end of the year at some point, sometimes these things kind of are weird. Still no confirmed pivot. Here comes the bill auctions at the treasuries. Huh. So they're just kind of chilling there. Well, that looks like that's not going to work out. Oh, geez, so fast. Of course not. Of course not. Very well. I'm just not going to touch it up too slow. I think I need to adjust this, Let's change these back to what is the default? Let's check here. Uh, 120. Well, let's do it. That looks a little better. Oh, this is the clear trades interval timer. Shouldn't have changed that. That's okay. There, it sounds like a reversal. This one I had at 10 seconds too. This one I should change back to be the 10,000. 10,000. Of course not. They're still having trouble getting above that 58 area though, huh? Okay, that might have just been a dump in reverse, you know what I mean? It's being really stingy to me for some reason. Bitcoin, PayPal CEO early next year, we're going to allow cryptocurrencies to be a funding source for any transaction happening on all 28 million of our merchants. That's not what they were saying before, though, was it? When they said it before, it was like it wasn't going to be your coin and you weren't going to be able to use it. Okay. I'm going to get a yellow on this one now. Yeah. Like we'll limit ourselves to 5 here. Seems like there's a lot of stuff going on under the surface of this market that I'm not necessarily in the know of, because you get a lot of interesting moves here, aren't you? Although, given how difficult it has been to get spots and stuff like that, I must not be the only one that's confused. They're dumping it for crypto. Cryptocurrency is not moving up today. I have to go back and look at that PayPal thing because I'm seeing conflicting information about that now. On one last little push here in the last few seconds of this bar. It should make the chart look lovely. There you go. There you go. Goodish, and you'll see all the guys buy in on the next bar. Oh, that's funny. They definitely bought that one, though. Did you see that? As soon as the bar closed, there's a couple of buy orders came in. That's me spoofing it for you. I bet you that if we went and we did a study about which second of the minute you'll see the most orders come in, and it'll be at the beginning. Because it's so much easier to write an algorithm that works on an on bar close basis and backtest it that way. So there's definitely a lot of robots out there that's how they work. All right, they get to turn back down again and try and bust this pivot that they just made. That'll be something. See, here it comes. Okay. There's, you see the cells. Facebook helps launch new tech industry lobbying group to battle anti-monopoly push. Oh. Don't think they could do it during lunch? Yeah, I don't know. It's behaving quite erratic, isn't it? Hold on, I had to get to 10.5 now. In the 10-year. It's really quite interesting how called the treasuries have been, huh? You say they usually don't work during lunch, so waste time. Yeah. There's definitely this whole thing, too, that the volume kind of dies down in the next 10 minutes, and then you get this weird action going into lunch. And given that all the Europeans are gone now, it's past 9:30, or is it that we still get to go till 10:30? I forget where we're at in the daylight savings time cycle of things. But you can see that they're being stingy about it. They're not letting us get fills. You say gold was oversold? That move in gold is something else. I tell you what. That quite unexpected move in gold, I think. Sounds like another Bank of England guy talking about the risk of deflation. Okay. Many might not be realize this. We're the sweet spot of technology. It is getting better. I appreciate this because it was an old man. We didn't have this 20 or 30 years ago. Yeah, I don't know, man. The thing that I keep feeling like is that something that I think about a lot. TikTok. TikTok is so much fun, man. I spend a good amount of time when I'm not doing anything, then I watch TikTok. Um, but I'm pretty sure that this is the golden age of TikTok. At some point, they're going to change their algorithm to benefit companies that are paying for advertising. That's the way it always goes, you know? It just seems like we're stuck in that cycle of like doing what the people want to do versus doing what makes the company the most money. And it seems with Twitter, for instance, that it has gotten to the point where what makes the company the most money has become a political issue, frankly, and it's not a good thing. You know? So I worry about that. Because the regulations are going to come one way or another, and I just kind of wonder how much damage tech companies are going to do trying to stop it from happening, you know? Ouch. Somebody doesn't want to let me get filled. He's fighting me. We'll let it get one takeaway from Seth and then we'll sweep him down. Nose is sweeping a little bit here. I think after this, I'm going to go put that bandage back on. And hope that it drains a bit more. More information about who's going to be leading roles under Biden administration, and it's a bunch more, you know, safe. They've been doing it forever kind of picks. It really is. I mean, the thing that's scary about TikTok isn't that TikTok, you know, basically has complete control over what you see when you're using the application and what the implications of that. The scary thing is that what TikTok wants to show me is more entertaining than what I would select by myself. That's what's scary about it. It knows. And it is a devious algorithm, and like it knows how to like space things out so that it'll show you something controversial and then it'll show you a cute puppy. And with videos only have to be a minute, there's no end to the amount of content that they can make. Of course, what we self-select on our own, like when you look at YouTube thumbnails, that's not a particularly great thing for society either, is it? So there still seems to be some pretty heavy resistance below like let's say 35.59. It's kind of that zone up there that for some reason, anytime that it gets up into there, somebody sells it. But ultimately, I think there's a really high probability that we move back up into the 35.62 area at some point. Just a little bit more. Come on. How long have we been sitting in this? 20 minutes? Once we get this filled, we will stop the stream though. There we go. All right, guys. Well, that wiped out our losses from earlier, so overall positive. Overall positive, but a couple of trades there that I'm not happy with, so that one in particular shouldn't have happened. All right, guys. Good vibes, good vibes. Well, thank you for stopping by. Hit the like button, subscribe. We got some more coming. Hopefully my nose feels better later in the week. We can make some more videos, but laws will never catch up with technologies, and too many will find a way to arbitrage this way. Well, yeah, it might be true. It might be right, Gary. You may be right. I feel like in the case of free speech, though, that at some point there are some cases where you can't have something that goes against the what are the interests of the majority of the American populace, like you can only take that so far. There's kind of that push and pull where there are certain points where the money does lose, and we've seen a couple of points like that pop up throughout American history, right? Like with what Teddy Roosevelt did. So there's limits, but what's the limit? I'm sure that if when they start censoring Democrats, then maybe people will do something about it. Okay, guys, I gotta get going. I will see you guys tomorrow. And in the meantime, stay profitable, friends.